What's up, everybody? This is Million Dollar Failure, Why Homes Don't Sell, and How to Fix It. These are real stories, real fails, and real solutions. Now, here are your hosts.
All right, welcome back. Once again, I'm Nicole.
I'm Jeremy Silver.
So today we're very excited. We have a guest. Her name is Jen, and she is an agent actually outside of our area. So she practices in Texas, and I found her actually through TikTok.
Yeah, this is the first time we've had another rep visit us on our podcast. So we're very excited about this.
Yeah, she seems to be doing a lot of business, and she's been on like a speaking tour, from what I understand, discussing how she spent money on marketing, but how she actually did a lot of business through social media and just being very diligent with her online branding.
Yeah, so I think for the audience, for ourselves, it'd be great to learn. Look forward to it.
Absolutely. So with no further ado, Jen.
Okay.
Awesome. And we are here with Jen. Jen, will you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Jennifer Kimia, and I am in Wichita Falls, Texas. I've been an agent for almost 5 years now.
Nice. Jeremy kept telling me I was saying the wrong state.
We're like, we need to double check this. Like,
Wichita
I was
Falls,
like, look,
small
that's
town.
Yes, tell us about your area.
So it's a little over like 100,000 people. Honestly, it's like a huge military town because we have Shepherd Air Force Base here. That's what brought me here. And now I'm stuck here for just a little bit because I just went through a divorce. So I've got 2 kids. So stay here for a bit until I can convince everyone to leave.
Yeah, you got to get the little minions on the same page.
My kids cannot wait to leave. My kids are like, we can move now.
What brought you to real estate?
So I'm a former social worker, and then I ended up having a kiddo with autism. I stayed home for 7 years. And then when we moved back to America, because I lived in England for almost 4 years with my ex, I wanted to go back to work finally. And then I tried to re-enter social work, and that was just, it was too much, too much of that. And so then I thought, well, maybe I'll go to law school because I'd wanted to do that. Worked at a law firm for a little bit and was like, nope, I don't like this. Too old to go back to law school. And then my girlfriend got me a job at her bank. She actually was the vice president of the mortgage department. And so I became a mortgage loan processor. And about 3 months in, I started looking at everybody else's paycheck. Not that I saw their paycheck, but I started configuring like who's making what in this. And I was like, whoa, I am making the least. And I have horrible ADHD. I'm literally standing right now. I have a standing desk. I was definitely the annoying girl in the office because I'm like, what are you going to have for lunch? What are you going to have for lunch? Like I needed to constantly move my body. So I was a terrible mortgage loan processor. I mean, I could get my work done, but like your girl is not a desk girl. And so then I looked into real estate. Finished everything, went to school secretly, and finished everything in like 89 days and became an agent and sold almost 40 homes my first year because I was psychotic.
Damn. Yeah, that is psychotic.
and so have you, like, as your career in real estate got moving, how did you progress as far as on the buyer side or seller side? Are you mostly on the seller side now, or what's that look like for you?
I have more listings now than I do buyers, but a lot of my stuff is still like referral based. I get a lot of referrals within my brokerage. And then I'm the national director for EXP Military Spouses, but I will be resigning from that in October. So I'm working on my replacement, and for the obvious reason, because I was married for almost 16 years and now we're divorced. So it's weird to be the military spouse director.
Yeah.
No longer
The spouse.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, need to replace this. But I still have like a really huge like military support network just because, I mean, good God, I did 16 years with my ex. So I still have a ton of friends in that community. And honestly, a lot of my clients they all refer me to everyone as a PCS in and PCS out. And then I have an investor, a primary investor that I work with who we do owner finance deals. They just like off market deals. But honestly, like right now with how the market is, I'd rather have more buyers.
Right.
We've talked
We've
about
talked
them.
about that quite
Yeah.
a bit. You know, a lot of our podcasts are we mainly focus on listings and issues that people run into and why things don't sell. Therefore, the name $1 Million Failure.
Mhm.
So it begs the question for you on listing appointments, things of that nature. Have you ever took over a listing that previously failed to sell, and what was going wrong, and how'd you turn it around? Do you have any examples of that?
Yeah, I have. And honestly, like, not that I have 20 years of experience, you know, you're always going to have that agent like, I have 20 years of experience, but they sell 4 houses a year, you know. Um,
Uh-huh.
I've had people take over my listings that have failed, and then magically in 4 days they sell. And it's the same price,
That's interesting.
similar. So it's like, it was just timing. I think sometimes,
Mhm.
majority of it, 75% of the time, it's timing. You didn't have a willing and able buyer. 25% of the time, it is the price. Maybe 50% of the time, it's the price.
Mhm.
Maybe I should even that out a little bit more. Because I feel like right now, I still have a lot of sellers who want to overprice their house, thinking people want to negotiate. I'm like, we just don't do that anymore. People aren't going to lowball you. It's considered disrespectful. But then they're like, well, but then we could get more money. I'm like, no, if we price your house at what it's worth, we bring in more buyers and then they bid over your house. But
Yeah.
if we start it where, and you're eliminating the buyer pool too, because some people will, let's just use small numbers. Some
Mhm.
people are only, you know, approved for $100,000. So then I can go look at a house that's 150 thinking, oh, I could really probably get 50K off that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Not to mention the appraisal issues that can pop up, right?
Yeah. So that's, and I try to tell people like, hey, we should give wiggle room for like people rolling in closing costs. Cause like we do a lot of VA loans here where everyone's rolling in closing cost. And even first time home buyers, especially if it's a lower price point home, like, hey, let's give some wiggle room so that it's a better negotiation. And I think it's just hard right now because just a lot of people they don't want to listen.
Mhm.
I have them
Well-
sign CMAs. And I'm like, this is what your house is on the market right now. Like, and they still want to list over. I'm like, that's fine. And I try to give like a pricing suggestion, like, hey, every 2 weeks we need to drop. Every 2 weeks we need to drop. But then they start to get cold feet and then they won't. And then, so it just sits and it doesn't matter what ad I run on it, what new videos I do on it. Like, it kind of goes stale. And so it's almost like, well, crap, maybe we should just take it off the market and revamp it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No, we've run into that, and like some of the conversations we've had lately is it seems like the personality of the seller matters more than maybe the listing or the price. You know, can we work together?
Right. The willingness of the seller to work with us as professionals and take our advice and be malleable, right? Is that the word?
Yeah.
Malleable to the situation where if you go to a a listing appointment and you just get the vibe that no, they are stuck on this number. They're telling you straight up, we're not going to come down. And it's like, am I really going to invest thousands of dollars into market your property when we know right off the bat this isn't the right price and you're not coming down, and you just walk away from that listing? Like,
Yeah, you have
this isn't
to.
for us.
Yeah.
Have you walked away from anything like that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If they won't, like in the beginning, if they won't sign the CMA or they won't agree to any price reductions, like at this point, I do have to walk away because I do have so many like listings that it's like, you know, I don't know. For me, I've never used to charge upfront for like pictures or anything, but I think with now how the market is shifting, I honestly am going to be changing my listing agreements. And that is, if you don't list at my price, you're paying for your photos, you're paying for all the ads I run. And because if you want to terminate your listing, that's fine. You're going to pay me back for everything. And I was never that
Interesting.
agent before, but like now it's like, if you think you can sell your house, by all means, please list it yourself. For sale by owner, 100% support it. You want to do it? Like, I support it. Like, it is the American right to do that. You know,
If you want to try,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. If you want me to just stick it in the MLS, give me $1,000.
Uh,
I'll stick it in
Yeah.
the MLS for you for $1,000, and then I'll put contact seller. Like,
For
you know,
showings and all
Yeah.
questions. Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's those hard conversations that you need to have these days. It's no one wants to collect listings just to showcase how many listings you have. It doesn't help your bottom line.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that goes into, besides price, have you ever walked into a listing appointment and you instantly know this is going to be a problem? And what gives
Yeah,
that
I
away?
typically just say, hey, I know you're interviewing other agents. Probably feels like we're not vibing. And I'm probably just gonna like pack my things right now. I I do like
I'm
some
out.
reload. Yeah, I do like reload stuff, and sometimes like I walk in and like they don't want to listen to anything I say. They don't, and I'm like, hey, like you sound, and I'm not rude about it at all. I'm just like, hey, you sound really experienced. You kind of sound like what you know what you want. I don't think I'm what you want, and I think they're more surprised that I'm just like,
Mhm.
hey, like I'm pretty sure I'm not what you want. So like, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I don't know. Now I just, as much as I would love the listing and I would love to sell it, like I also want to work with people who want to work with me, which is why I prefer more referral based,
Mhm.
just because it typically goes a lot better.
And do you find the referrals being referrals are coming from a trusted source, and then therefore they have sort of an instant trust for you? Are they more willing to listen to your prediction of price?
Yes, 100%. Or I prefer people who find me off of my social media because they already like me, know me, and trust me.
So let's
Um,
talk about that. So how has social media and TikTok changed your business?
Yeah, so all my business comes from TikTok, Facebook, and I actually just got an Instagram buyer lead on, I don't know what to say, Monday, on Friday night. Um, yeah, well, my Instagram is terrible. Ooh. Um,
Yeah, we were talking about that. You're like, I'm not made for Instagram.
yeah, I am way too of a hot mess and honest, and I share a lot more of my personal life on my TikTok.
Mhm.
Like I love to show all my like fashion stuff that I love to do because I get paid from TikTok. And I get sponsorships and it's more fun. And I share about like dating post divorce and like that's way more entertaining.
Right. No, I find TikTok way more entertaining also, and I get to act out a little bit more. We
Yeah,
get
you
the
get to
trolls in the
actually
comments.
be, yeah, you actually get to
Mhm.
be yourself. And I feel like on Instagram, it's like, great, another perfect home tour. Can't wait.
Right.
Good point.
Exactly.
Like,
The Instagram life.
yeah, everyone's got $1 million homes. What? We're like basically almost in another recession. People are poor as hell right now. I'm poor as hell right now. Like people can barely buy bread and eggs, and everyone's got a $1.5 million house. Yeah, because the rich stay rich during this time because they have the cash funds. I mean, like now's the time to go into luxury if you want to, because they're all still going to sell. They will, because
Yeah.
the rich get richer during this time. That is a fact. But the middle class and lower, like we're the ones who are going to struggle the most. You know, even
Well,
if
and what we've been seeing selling has been for a while, and it's very interesting.
Mhm.
I think you're going to agree with this, Jen, is we've seen
That-
reality before data, right? So in our MLS, Space Coast MLS, we just had for the first time the MLS indicate like year over year and first quarter results price drops occur, like actual sale price drop in our area in Florida, which hasn't happened in like so long. But we saw this happening like for 8 to 10 months.
Mhm.
And anyone that would listen to us were like, don't believe the data that's still happening because it's behind. So it's very interesting that's occurring, that we see it in advance.
But the other thing that you brought up is we're seeing like the middle home prices say no more than that, like
Yeah.
400 to 650
Yeah,
sitting.
they sit.
But like anything over like 700 and plus,
Yeah.
that was cash.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then anything like 350 below is still moving, especially with new construction and their ability to offer better interest rates. So you're spot on, Jen.
Mhm. Okay, so we were on the social media changing your business.
Oh yeah. Um, squirrel.
I know we got
Sorry.
sidetracked.
Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, so social media changed my business a couple years ago. And then the fact that like my TikTok got me on a couple of stages to talk, and I got some really cool opportunities. I got to speak at EXPCon. It's what helps me get my military network position. It got me as a guest speaker at like some women's conferences. Yeah, I just, social media was, I love video marketing. I love teaming up with people with video marketing. This year has been kind of a hot mess going through my divorce, and I kind of like went off social media for a little bit because while I was struggle busing, like
Yeah.
mentally and emotionally. And then now, like slowly but surely getting back on, slowly but surely posting again. What's nice is I think it was a God thing, and then I think it was just video marketing is even when I had the inability to prospect, somehow I was still getting clients when I was like in a horrible depression from my divorce. Like I would wake up and I would have a client and I was like, thank you, Lord, so much. Like I'm barely functioning right now. And
Wow.
like I was able to fake it enough to make it through the transaction. Like, but I didn't have the energy to like prospect. So social media saved me through everything, especially like because I was just financially on my own. Like I got super screwed in
Absolutely.
my divorce. So like I don't get child support, alimony. I was married for almost 16 years. I got literally $0 to my name.
It's crazy. No, I went through
So
that also when I was in real estate.
yeah, so like in being in commission and sales and everything. So I mean, I would love
It's
if my
crazy.
board could sell right now, could pay all my bills,
Right.
But it's like just sitting there and just sitting there.
Ah.
And I'm like, Lord, please sell.
And then, so with social media, do you think it's helped shift sellers' mindset at all? Like, do you think that what we're putting out on social media is helping those prospective sellers at all?
I think like yes and no. I think you have some of the agents who make everything like rosy, peachy cream, but that's why I prefer TikTok over Instagram because I feel like on TikTok agents, I've shared multiple times like someone help me sell this house. Like it will not sell. Give me tips, give me pointers. What am I missing here? Like I think it's a lot more vulnerable space of like admitting you're wrong and it's not so picture perfect fake life. And so, I mean, I feel like if buyers and sellers were more on a real Facebook or TikTok page, like where the agent was like, hey, this is all the things that I do behind the scenes. And like, even by doing all of this, like we are still struggling. So like, where are we missing this? Or I think that's much more realistic. But then I think there's a lot of good education on all the platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. But then some of it is so hard when you've got people who are like, I bought a house for $0 and you can too. And I'm like, oh, but you did not.
Oh,
You had
I hate them.
Hey, we also have the opposite, Jen. So there's some folks in Florida that all they post are doomsday videos. Like now is not the time to buy. Now's not the time to sell. And they continually post this. And it's like, but you're a realtor. Like,
oh no, the realtors doing it are the worst.
yeah.
The realtors are so I do tell people who come to me like, what should I do for like investment? I'm like, you need to diversify. Like, do you have any real estate? Always buy real estate, no matter what. Always buy real estate. Always. Just like the market. I mean, like the stock market. When the stock market goes down, what do? You buy the crappy stock. Like, because then when it goes back up, guess who becomes the millionaire? You do. Like, buy the real estate and diversify and then buy stocks and buy 20 different types of stocks. Put $15 in for all I care. Like, but don't, is it Warren Buffett who says to always buy real estate when the market's, when no one else is buying, be the person who buys? Who says that? Who's the
I think it might be him actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Uh,
don't know that one.
Yeah, but
and you were saying people have given you tips and tricks, like when you can't sell something. What are some of the tips you've gotten that are interesting?
uh, my favorites are the one that costs like 20 grand on a
Oh,
$200,000 house.
Right,
Mhm, mhm.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Take out
I'm
this
like,
full page ad in this magazine, runs across America.
yeah, I'm like, no one's buying a
Right.
house from a magazine.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't do any of those magazine ads. And I do try to tell people that, like, I'm like, hey, the people who are in the magazines, it's a pay to play. Like,
Mhm.
were they really the number one agent? Oh,
Oh
but
my
they
God.
paid to be it.
Cool.
Have you had a seller surprise you, like good or bad? Probably all surprised us. I found a
yeah,
seller
I'm
drunk
like,
in the landscaping the other day.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Real estate's a little tricky sometimes when it comes to like the human aspect of it, because at the end of the day,
Mhm.
money is a super sensitive topic. I also do a lot of divorce cases. So there's always that factor into it. And, you know, money is being split. And so one person's like, God, just get me out of this. And the other person's
Mhm.
slow rolling it. And that's when I'm like, dear Lord, please let me have an attorney during this so that I can go direct to the attorney and be like,
Mhm.
this client is not participating in the sale, and I can like track it. And then it typically moves things along.
Yeah.
But
Divorces would be difficult. I only had one.
oh my gosh, girl, I've done like 20 or 30.
Have you done a lot of probate? Because I was shocked he hasn't done a lot of probate or death. We have a lot of death. I've had a lot.
I don't do like
Trusts
a lot
or
of death ones. I've only done 2, and they were like friends.
Mm.
They were like people who I knew in the community for a couple years, and then like, it was like their grandparents died.
Oh, still. I mean,
Yeah.
we're in Florida. It's different. People pass. We
Yeah.
have a lot of
Older
elderly.
community here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What part
Yeah,
of
a lot of
Florida are y'all
probate.
in?
So like Melbourne, and then I go down to Vero. So we're on the East Coast, on the ocean. I've had it to where there were 5 heirs, and 3 of them wouldn't talk to 2 of them. So that was fun. Actually, I had one man who passed, but he had traveled around the United States buying houses and hoarding in them. So that was cool.
Lovely.
The one that I had was infested with rats and full of stuff, and then all the windows had been busted out and things were falling through the ceiling.
But they wanted $1 million
So I
for
sold
it,
that.
right?
I sold it. It was, you could see the river from it. So
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, so it was worth money. You just demo it and then it'd be a $600,000 house easy. What else do you think sellers need to know? Like, what is your tip for people who are about to sell their house?
That there are very inexpensive things that you can do to make your house look stunning. Like, I don't know,
Mhm.
clean it,
Clean
wipe
it,
your walls,
please.
clean your baseboards, clean your door handles. Like, so I have a checklist. And if
Mhm.
people do the checklist, their house looks like pristine. I always offer, like, hey, I also have these cleaning companies we can call. Very simple touch up paint. Like, there are inexpensive ways to make your house look beautiful.
Mhm.
Fix your yard. Like, just de-weed it, and put some fake
Mhm.
flowers up in there if you need to. Like, this is Wichita Falls.
Mhm.
It's hot, things burn. So you can buy inexpensive fake flowers that actually look beautiful. And just stage your home properly. Like, let me come in and like rearrange things. Like, I think it's
Mhm.
weird. Sometimes I still have sellers who think like their items are what's most important of the home. I'm like, no, we need to go like bare bones, naked, like you don't live here. And,
Right.
you know, take your 75 plastic cups out of the cabinet. So when they open up the cabinet, they don't know you have 75 plastic cups in different restaurants around the world.
Oh, that's
Like,
great.
I always joke, like, you get 5 cups. How many people in your house? 5. You get 5 cups. Watch how quickly everyone uses that same cup. You know, like
Oh, goes
I
inside of my
say,
cabinet
pack
right
half your stuff. I always
Yeah.
tell people, like, why don't you have a summer, spring, winter, fall closet? You should have half your stuff in tubs, anyways, so that you know you're
Mhm.
using it, reusing it. Like, let's do a little Marie Kondo up in here. Like,
Hide the animal stuff. No one should smell a cat. All
The
of it.
orange spray is like
Oh,
the best stuff ever. Do you know about the orange spray?
yes. We should bring that to every listing appointment.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
brilliant. So
Yeah.
where can people find and follow you?
Most likely TikTok.
TikTok.
I'm trying to be cool like my kids because they have actually an amazing YouTube channel. Like no lie, they have
Mhm.
like over 12,000 followers that they've made in like 8 months, 9 months.
Wow.
My kids are so much smarter and cooler than me. So now I've hired my 12-year-old to make me cool.
Yes.
I'll let you know if it works.
Excellent.
That's
Um,
fantastic. They're going to grow your TikTok even more.
Right? I hope so. So yeah, just Jen Guinia, or Shepherd AFB Realtor. So by the way,
Okay.
if you're a realtor and you're trying to take over your area, name it something of your area. Wichita Falls Realtor. One of my agents, Rashawn, that's what she took. And I took Shepherd AFB Realtor. And so when people type in Shepherd Air Force Base, guess what pops up? Me.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah. So name
Excellent.
yourself after your community, not like Hello Kitty Jen selling homes. No one's going to find you. No one. And a guy named Levi, I can never remember his last name. He's with EXP2. He's got a great YouTube course. It's super inexpensive. I would say it's totally worth taking. It's called like, his YouTube stuff is living in, wherever. So mine says like living in Wichita
Mhm.
Falls, Texas. Like, because when people type that in, it's like one of the first things that pops up. So go steal my cover page on my YouTube.
Thank you so much for taking your time and spending it with us. So once again, that's a wrap on this episode of $1 Million Failures. Big shout out to Jen for opening up and sharing her experience and expertise today.
Yeah, if you've ever had a home that didn't sell and want to share your story, whether you're looking for advice, a second shot, or just need to vent, we'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email at milliondollarfailures@gmail.com. That's with an S.
And if you're planning to sell and want to get it right the first time, we are here to help. Just reach out.
Huge shout out to Jeffrey French at Grit and Grind Studios for making us sound good every week.
If you like today's episode, hit all the buttons, like, share, subscribe, follow, leave us a review wherever you're listening, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Threads for new episodes and all of the behind the scenes.
And hey, if you're a brand or business that wants to sponsor the show, let's talk.
Thank you for tuning in.
Until next time.
I'm Nicole.